Hello, hopefully you can hear me and you'll be really pleased to see me. You don't need to see my face, which is always nice. Um, so today just going to take you through, I'm going to do it a bit differently today. I'm changing things up a little bit. So I have found a session in our session bank and I'm going to go through it. So hopefully the session plan that goes with the session will be beautifully written, and I'm sure it will, because I know that my team are awesome. And I'm just going to stick it there so that I can have a look and see where we go from here. So this would have been during lockdown. We had to move our CST sessions online, and now we offer virtual CST, which is very exciting. And this was sort of as we were sort of experimenting to see how virtual CST would work, and it worked incredibly well. And this is one of the slideshows from our virtual CST. So I thought today we'd look at money, or the using money is the official session, isn't it? Using money. But also added a few bits of numbers in there as well. So I'm hoping you can just kind of go through and see what it is that we do. What do we go through? So I'm going to, let's make that do that. So hopefully that looks amazing on your screen. I have no idea if it does or not. I'll keep checking my phone to make sure, because I seem to need about 4 screens to make anything work around here. Let me just check the comments. So what I will ask of you, please, is if you're watching this live, that you put live in the comments. If you're watching a replay, if you can put replay as well, that really helps, because actually most people watch these videos as a replay in their own time, which is absolutely perfect. But we don't know how many people have watched it in that case. So when I'm live, I can see at the moment there's 3 of you watching that live, which is great, and it's lovely to see you. But then if people watch it afterwards, I don't know how many people have watched. And this helps me and Shania in the group know whether we've got, whether we've got this right and whether the content's correct. And that's what you need. So feedback from you is always really very important. So please pop live in the comments or replay, depending on which it is that you're doing. So this is the money session. And we're going to start with this brilliant question, and things we like to buy with our hard-earned cash. So here we are asking, thanks Leslie, here we're asking, what is it you would like to buy with your hard-earned cash? Now, it would be great to have this as a little bit of a interactive session. So if you want to just put, what do you like to buy with your hard-earned cash? What is it that you spend your money on? If you have extra money ever, who has extra money? But if you did, let's just imagine, how would you spend that money? And this is how I would be facilitating a conversation with the people in our group. What would you buy? And here we get to hear all sorts of things in terms of people's personalities and the things that they love. Maybe they go and spend it down the pub. And then the next question would be, should children earn their pocket money? This is a great discussion. Should children earn their pocket money? Now, often people will have a very strong opinion about this. Yes, of course they should. And what is it that they should do for their pocket money? And very often this is where some reminiscence will come along. And people will tell you what they had to do for their pocket money, or whether they got pocket money at all, whether they were just expected to do jobs around the house and didn't necessarily get money for it. So this is, again, and really notice the question, should children earn their pocket money? We're not asking the question, what did you spend your pocket money on? But it's very probable that that question will be answered. But that's not what we're doing. We're asking a specific question about an opinion. So anybody can answer that without having to trawl through their memory bank. And if their memory is not working particularly well that day, they can still enjoy answering that question. Should children earn their pocket money? Well, I think they should, or they shouldn't. Yes, Leslie, I'm loving that we've got a little plant there. I can never find emojis like that. I've got a whole story about sending a very inappropriate emoji to my son because I didn't have my glasses on and I thought I was sending a thumbs up, and it very much wasn't a thumbs up. Okay, so this is a great slide which shows us some amazing things that we may have spent our money on, and this, of course, hopes to help people to reminisce. And it's very often, isn't it, when we either see a picture that we haven't seen for years and years, that something comes up for us. And I love these. I see this quite a lot on Facebook sometimes, where you see sort of things from my childhood that remind me of something pretty special that I'd completely forgotten about, completely forgotten that it existed. So literally just what comes up when they see this picture. And obviously, if you're in a live proper session with people, you would, if you could, bring some sweets in for them to taste. Obviously, I'm going to have to say, do the risk assessment, find out whether anybody's diabetic. It goes without saying, doesn't it, that we would do that. But yeah, actually, one step better is to be able to smell those sweets and to hold them in our hands and taste them. Some more suggestions here of what we might spend our hard-earned money on. Would you have bought records? That's one of the things that I would have done back in the day, was spend my pocket money on records. And a great one here, sort of looking at old and new money. And I think, I've probably told the story many times, and I apologise if you've heard it already, but I do remember photocopying money in our office to laminate it so that we could take it to sessions and really look at the art within the banknotes, which is actually really fascinating. So I'd blown this money up on the photocopier, and it was coming out of the printer, and somebody sort of pointed out that this was illegal. We probably shouldn't do it, but there we go. So here we go with some old money and some new money, and then asking again this opinion question: which do you prefer, old money or new money? Coins are amazing, aren't they? And I think in the group where we really are sat around with each other rather than being online, that I always find that when I sort of tip out, we've got a big bag of money, so not worth anything, but this big bag of money that I tip out onto the table, and people are very quick to start piling the money up into either like money, so all the pennies go together and all the shillings go together, or it's very, very tactile, and something magic just happens. I don't really need to do anything, so the facilitator doesn't need to do much at all other than just put that money on the table and see what happens. So it's good to share stories as well, see what stories can come out of handling this money. And people generally have stories, and there's often a lot of delight as well at holding money that they haven't sort of been part of their life for a very long time. So this one is, can you say how much in words that was? Now, what I love about this is there is no way that I could do that. And, I talk all the time about how we sit beside people living with dementia. We're not meant to be the experts, but to be the ones that can also learn and discover from the people the people in our groups. And this is where, people can really shine and tell us £4, 8 shillings and 4 pence. Some of you would have been able to do that. I couldn't. I didn't, because it's a whole other language to me. This wasn't around when I was at school. And then first pay packets. And everyone has a story about first pay packets, if, of course, that can be remembered. So how can we make sure that those people who can't remember can still enjoy that conversation? We had a volunteer who worked with us who was amazing, and she could remember creating the envelopes for the pay packets, and they have to be folded in a certain way. And I didn't realise this, but you'd have these little brown envelopes, and the money would be in a certain way so that you could open or have a look through the side without actually opening the pay packet to check that your pay was right. And because once you'd opened the packet, that was it. There was no going back to your boss to say that you'd been paid the wrong amount of money. And so it was really interesting for her to talk about that and to sort of show how that fold was done. And then this is, for me, the main body of the session is the prices from then and now. So the comparison, if you like, from then and now. So how much was a pint of beer in the 1960s? How much is a pint of beer now? Fish and chips. How much was a plate of fish and chips in the 1960s? And you can take this further back than that. So you can take this right back to a time when none of us were alive. So how much would that have been sort of 100 years ago or 150 years ago as well? So that you can start to sort of not only try and reminisce, but also learning something completely new, learning a bit of history, and also projecting into the future. How much do we think these things will be in 100 years' time? What will it look like then? What are we talking about? How will coins be? Will we have coins? So really open up that sort of imaginative thinking. And again, a bit more comparison here. So cinema tickets, theatre tickets, and a car. So the cost of a car apparently in 1958 was £750 in today's money. Sorry, no, it was £750. In today's money, that would be 15,000. Is that right? Or 1,500. Do you think it was good value then? That's really interesting, isn't it? So getting people to think about sort of their opinions around that. And then we've got a little bit of estimation. Now, estimation is a great one, isn't it? Because it's not, there's no right or wrong. This is just about how many do you think. So let's not count those apples. How many do you think there are? Are there, 10 or under 10 or up to 30 plus apples just by licking? And this is great at practicing our thinking. And some more around thinking around numbers. So what numbers are important to us? What comes up for us when we see these numbers? Again, just a bit of fun with numbers. And some more there. 14th of February coming up. So now again, so these are exact questions, aren't they? So these are the things that I do say we have to use very cautiously, because we're going into Quizland here, aren't we? So where the Prime Minister lives, the number of holes on a golf course, bingo, 2 fat ladies, and film the magnificent, what would that be? So again, when we do these, and I don't say avoid them altogether. I think they're really important that we have them sometimes, but we need to make sure that we can make them accessible for everybody. So it might be that we have options. So perhaps we have, for the first question, where the Prime Minister lives, might be number 10, number 15 and number 25. Which one is it? The same with numbers of holes in a golf course. Because I'd like to say I haven't got a clue how many holes there are on a golf course. And the bingo's 2 fat ladies. Is that 88? Well, might be. So we'd have 88, 21, 75. So that's how I would do that, so that you've got options that people can pick rather than just leaving them with an open question of what is this? These are all good fun. The dirty what? I don't know. And then this is really lovely. I had a look at this earlier. So the idea that different ways to buy a birthday gift, like what could you buy instead of gifts? Because it's a great thing to discuss, particularly now when people don't want stuff, do they? People don't want stuff. They want to sort of think about things that they might like to give or spend their money on, which is not only giving to the person, but also giving perhaps to the planet or to a good cause as well. It's a really great discussion. And experiences to enjoy. These are great photographs. And then finally, and this is one of my favourites, is if you won the lottery. So if you won the lottery, what is the first thing that you would do? If you won £1 million, what would you do? How would you like to spend that money? What would you spend it on? So much imagination there that we cannot go wrong in terms of discussion. So that, in a nutshell, is a money and numbers total example right the way from the beginning. Obviously, we haven't given you the introduction and the word warm up and all those bits, nor have we given you the end, but just giving you sort of that bit that you slot in the middle, which is your session. So I hope that that was useful. I do want to say before I go that unfortunately I can't unshare the screen without finishing the live, so you'll just have to look at this amazing money in front of you. We have a course next week. I believe it's on the 17th. It's Thursday next week, which is the full CST course, live all day long, which I will be taking. We do have some spaces left, so if you know anybody who would love to come along and learn how to do cognitive stimulation therapy, we'll be diving deeply into all of the different aspects of facilitating CST, including how to plan a session right the way through to really knowing how to do CST inside and out, and how to sort of navigate, for example there, how to navigate something like a quiz in a way that is accessible to absolutely everybody, and practicing those things so that you go away feeling completely happy with being able to do it. So if you want to do that, we will stick a link in the comments in a minute, and you can jump on board and join me for a whole day, and we'll have lots of fun. I promise it'll be great. And you get to meet lots of other people as well who are running CST in different areas throughout the country, or are starting to, or wanting to. And I will really look forward to seeing everybody there. So thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful. Any comments that you want to make, please make them in the comments box. Ask me any question you like. Take care.